Hey Yogesh and Shubham.
Hi, Suresh.
Hey, Suresh.
I just saw the calendar. Okay. Weekly 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Oh, just now they posted. Okay. Yeah, but nobody is there. Oh, already. Some are joining. Okay, good.
Hi, good morning or afternoon or wherever you are.
Hey, Vikas.
Hi, Shubham, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Awesome, awesome. Hey, everybody. This is Vikas
Hello.
from Red Hat. Hi.
Hi, Vikas. How are you?
Awesome, Candle.
Good. So we'll just give it a few more minutes because it seems like we are missing quite a few.
Yeah, I think members are to come from another meeting.
Okay, no worries. We usually don't use the full time anyway, so that's okay.
Yeah. Rabina, Ulas, or Phil are joining. Okay, good. Hi, Phil. Hi, Ulas.
Hey, Suresh. Good evening. Good morning, everyone.
Good day.
Hello, hello.
Morning, Ulas. We saw you after the last meeting. So it is kind of 1 month later we are meeting here in this group.
Yeah, since it has become bi-weekly, but you
Yeah.
are not missing me, I think, Suresh, no?
Yeah, we are consistent. Coming here and updating.
We'll just wait just another minute or two. It looks like we're still missing some of the DevOps guys.
Is there another event happening?
So I'm wondering, there's not very many people today.
Who are you looking for?
I usually like to at least have everyone who's going to be presenting or giving updates. So maybe mainly looking for Tim or someone from DevOps that would give the DevOps update. But we can always skip that. So we can go ahead and get started just in interest of time. So we do have a couple other items on the agenda, but we'll start with our normal updates. So we'll start with you, Suresh, on a 5G update.
Yeah, Eskandal. Yeah, give me a second. I start sharing screen. Kendall, can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Shubham. So here is the update on 5GSA. We had a traffic issue out of OVS last week, a couple of weeks ago, on the Ubuntu packages. The traffic flow issue is resolved now, thanks to the efforts from Pravina, Yogesh, and also from Rupa. So it was a real hard issue to debug and resolve. So now in TerraVM environments, uplink, downlink traffic flow is happening, and we don't have any issue with the tunnel establishment as well. So it's all good on the TerraVM environment. And on the SIT, we have UE registration successful. However, we had an issue with the PDU session establishment. So team are working on this issue. The goal is to get through PDU session establishment and traffic flow in the SIT as well in the next 1 week or so. And on the timers and negative scenarios, a good number of PRs are going through the process of review. Registration reject, authentication reject, service reject are in review state now. So with that, a fair level of stability is expected on the MVC related procedures on 5GSA. And we are also working on multiple QoS and network initiated session modification, dynamic policy updates. And then on the orchestration side, we are working on subscriber DB related extensions. In the month of September, we are hoping to close this part. And subsequently, we have plans to work on orchestration changes related to the policy DB. On the stability tests, in TerraVM setup, currently for a single run of 100 UEs, 1 PDU session each, we are able to establish sessions successfully. However, with multiple runs, we are landing in issues. So we need to debug these issues and resolve them over the next few weeks. And goal is towards end of September, we need to arrive at a reasonable level of stability and bring some level of hardening into the system. And as such, initially we thought of measuring throughput in the month of September for 600 UEs, wherein the uplink downlink put together is targeted for 400 Mbps. However, we'll go a little slow on that front. First goal for us is to resolve all the SIT issues and then bring some level of stability with 100 UE registrations in a loop. And then subsequently we go to throughput measurements. So this is the current state and the plan for September on 5GSA. Any questions from anyone?
Yeah, so hey Suresh, I have a question. I want to understand these tests we do mostly on TerraVM, and why do we use like URANSIM, like UE ransom?
Primarily for the developers to try out their functional tests, we are using UE ransom. However, that is not a comprehensive one to test the 3GPP conformance. So, in fact, no single simulator today is comprehensive enough. For that reason, we use multiple simulators as such. If you are following the 5GSA status track, probably you may have observed we were also talking about NGAP tester and also DS tester. Even though we are not using DS tester nowadays much, net DS tester also is part of the ecosystem. However, primarily for the last couple of months, we are relying more on TerraVM for all the functional tests.
And who write these test cases? The TerraVM team or the Magma like contributors?
Yeah, we have a team that is managed by Gosh. Gosh is on this call.
Yeah, I think he's not. But
Okay.
I mean, we have a team basically in charge of the lab facilities at Facebook, and they basically interact with the and they basically design the test cases together based on our input.
Okay. So and these test cases will be like different for every single like simulator or testers, right?
This is TerraVM is a simulator. I mean, it's a product now. I mean, we are talking about scripts, testing scenarios for that. But it is not the only one the team is using. No, I mean, as maybe Suresh mentioned, I wasn't listening very carefully. But we have 3 different simulators next to TerraVM that the development team is using on their, day-to-day stuff. TerraVM is also used every day on day-to-day, but it requires some lab access on the Facebook side. And we also have a plan, basically, I guess this was also discussed in the previous weeks, Spirant-based test environment will be coming up for scale testing. TerraVM is also capable of scale testing, but Spirant basically has also its own benefits.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Any other questions for the 5G update?
Suresh, have you mentioned the SIT status?
Yes, Ulas. I updated on the current issue we have and also the progress we've made, both.
All right, then we will move on if there are no other questions. I don't see Tim on the call, but do we have anyone that will give the DevOps update? Okay, if not, I can just have Tim put something in the Slack to provide everyone with an update.
Yeah, Tim was unavailable on yesterday's DevOps call. I think he was not feeling well, so.
Okay, that's no worries. We'll skip that this week. So we'll go ahead and move on to the release update from Echo.
All right, thanks, Kendall. Hi, everyone. So no big updates necessarily. So in terms of what the team has been working on, the last sprint and this current one, there's been lots of emphasis on fixing reported issues and making the product more stable, more reliable in terms of performance. In terms of what the outlook is for new features, I think the big one that is going to be available in the next release is going to be the containerized services in beta, which will be part of the 1.7 release, which should be expected at the end of the current sprint. I think last week I already shared the plans to release minor releases for the 1.5 and the 1.6, which address some of the memory issues that were reported for those specific releases. So yeah, that is mostly what the outlook is for releases in the next coming weeks. 1.5 and 1.6 releases should be expected sometime this week. The team is still working on this, looking to validate and then ship the release. 1.7 should come at the end of this sprint, which ends end of the week. So we'll try to get 1.7 out sometime next week. All right, so that's mostly all the updates for releases.
I have a question. In 1.7, will there be like 5G SA features?
I think I would defer that to Ulash if you want to chime in on that one.
What is the question?
In 1.7, will there be 5G SA features like the one we are building?
5G SA feature we are targeting end of September for widely available 5G features. So we are not targeting a particular release 1.7, 1.8, 1.9 or whatever. I mean, it is more data oriented.
Are they in the branch? Like, it'll be in the release, right? Because they're now on main.
Yeah,
I
they're
mean,
on master.
On
So
the
code is on
master, I mean,
Yeah.
yes, there is no separate branch. Basically, there is only master branch.
So because the code is already there on master, so when the 1.7 is released, so technically the code will be there for 5G SA.
Yes, but what I am saying is there are a lot of PRs coming up. So our target is to land those by the end of September.
Oh, understood.
Yeah. So if I can chime in quickly. So I think usually features or use cases in development will always be a part of the release, but we call it out as something that can be tested or used in any capacity when it's in some type of shape or form. Like like I said, for the containerization, if it's good enough to be used in some kind of a beta environment, it will be called out as part of the release note. But if for experimental purposes, you want to use this for anything else, it will always be a part of the release.
Yeah, I was just wondering if we cherry pick those commits for 5G, or will it the full master will be there?
There won't be any cherry picking. I mean, it is feed forward. If you want particular features for the 5G, you should get the latest one.
Okay. Understood.
And what we can do on our side to be more transparent is we can list the test cases, make them publicly available, what is passing and what is failing by a particular release version, if that makes sense.
Suresh, you're trying to say something?
Yeah, I think we'll do that, Ulas. It will come handy. Some members in the community approached us in one or the other channels asking for the availability of features. They also asked whether the orchestrator for 5G SA can be tried like that. So once the features arrive at a fair level of hardening towards end of September, it is better we declare the set of features that are available. Yeah.
And then since we are gonna release, I guess, more frequently, I mean, the release version becomes less relevant.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So I think Phil had an item also on the agenda, so maybe we'd like to get onto that one.
Before we jump into that, can I ask a question to Lionel or YI team?
Of course.
Yeah. See, you were earlier working on a proposal related to NB-IoT. Can you, Lionel, can you let us know is the code available on master now?
Hello, Suresh. Sorry, I don't have. Yes, we are still working on it, but that's more Moit that take the lead on it. I have to refresh my view on it, and we have to sync with another company who has already made some NB-IoT features on top on on the whole the commits of Magma, if I remember well. Maybe Ulash is more aware of that. So we have to merge what we did together, 3 parties into master branch.
Right. So maybe I can chime in here too. So so Shubham, yeah, I think you asked the question, right?
Sorry,
Yeah.
I lost you there.
Yeah, I'll just confirm if you asked the question, right? So yeah, for MBIUT, probably this is probably new to most of you, but we are looking to work with 2 companies. The first one is a company called Satellite. The other is I2CAT. And they reached out after they confirmed that they have developed an MBIT solution, and they were interested in contributing this to the Magma code base. It's still very early, but most likely the MBIT work that will be supporting for Magma is going to come from the work that they have done. We have planned things with them coming up soon. So as we learn more, we'll share with the community and we invite them to be a part of this forum so they can also share the work that they'll be doing.
Thanks, Iko. That's a great news.
Yeah.
Also curious to know, maybe Iko or Phil may have inputs. Do they also have some prototype devices to try out on the device side, or do they also have a device ecosystem from where we can try out the NB-IoT devices? I mean, NB-IoT compatible devices.
It's still pretty early, so lots of those fine details still remain unknown for now. But the goal would be that once we get into a regular cadence of helping them get this code upstream to the Magma code base, we'll probably have a forum as part of these meetings where maybe they can come and talk about this into some more detail in the interest of the community.
And Suresh, was your question 5G narrowband or 4G narrowband based? Because I'm
4G narrowband.
Yeah, okay, because speculatively, I'm gonna say there's not much 5G narrowband equipment to work with at all. So anything they have done would have had to have been 4G based.
Right. In fact, our customer is keen on 4G.
Okay, thanks.
All right, any other questions or items before we move on to the next agenda item? All right, then I will pass it over to Phil for proposed update to Magma release process.
Yeah, thanks, Kendall. I just want to call attention to a proposal issue that's been added to the GitHub, and it's here. It's proposal, or it's issue 8778. Maybe we can drop a link to that in the chat somewhere. But this is a proposal to better align the way that we're naming and managing releases going forward to the change in our release cycle, which is more rapid releases coming off the modified agile process. And I don't necessarily want to use this forum today to start a discussion about it, but I would like to have people take some note of this and review it. The essence of the proposal is to go to calendar-based versioning, and the key rationale for doing that is this notion that with more rapid releases and the fact that there may be branches cut that are attempted releases that we abandon because we don't get a stable release before the next sprint cycles come through, we run the risk in our current cycle of having missing branches. I mean, the way we're going, we could have 1.6, 1.7, attempt 1.8, not ever release it, have 1.9 and leave a history of why did that happen. We also introduce in this the concept that some branches would be marked stable branches. these are the releases that would become our support points, that would be on a cadence of every 6 months or so that we could have something a little more stable for customers who want to, or users who want to operate a network and not get caught up in each of the intermediate releases along the way. Again, this is just a proposal. It's early. There's no strong vesting in the method, but what we want to do is create a dialogue around the problem. And you'll note in the issue, I published this last night, and Mark Jen already made a comment with an alternate proposal to be looked at. And we'll be looking at that and thinking about how we'd want to respond to that later today. So again, I don't want to take the whole time during this call to debate the issue, but I do want to get the idea out there and invite feedback. And I would love for most of the feedback to be recorded in the GitHub issue itself. Not that verbal feedback is not welcome, but it doesn't leave a history or what the OIF guys call a trail of breadcrumbs of how we got to a decision. So if people want to take a look at that. Any thoughts or questions? Echo's given a quick review of it. We've discussed it. So far, it's just been Echo and I, and then we're tossing it out for the community to review.
This is great, Phil. I love this. Yeah, I love that we're raising this. I think that the current versioning, like you said, we'll quickly get to version 1.49, right? 1.107 if it remains like it is. So I think this is the right thing for us to consider. So. Okay,
and there are some notes in here about what we're modeling off of for other projects. There's some history of the Magma releases that show kind of a really staccato pattern to what we've done in the past, not really predictable going on, and some thoughts about why calendar versioning is better for dynamic projects than semantic versioning. But as others have pointed out, there's also a lot of value in the existing semantic versioning. So I'd love to get the dialogue going on the pluses and minuses. And I know naming seems like a minor thing, but as we interact with users of the product and talk about support structures that go with it, it actually is surprisingly important. So thanks for taking a look.
Great, thanks, Phil. Any questions, comments for Phil and team?
No, I just think it makes sense in your case to adopt calendar versioning. So it's a good move.
Thanks, Thierry. It's not the only answer. So I'd really love to have the dialogue, and like I say, leave the history recorded for anyone who comes back and wonders why we've chosen to do whatever it is we end up doing. So thanks.
Great. Thank you for that. So the last item on the agenda is from Ildiko. A few community members have come together to start a new brainstorm type meeting, and I'll let Ildiko talk on that.
Yes, thanks, Kendall. I hope you can hear me.
Yep.
So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ildiko Vancha. I work as Senior Manager of Community and Ecosystem at the Open Infra Foundation. And as Kendall mentioned, I've been talking to a few people lately within the Magma community about things like aims and challenges around onboarding and how to improve contributor experience. I do have a lot of experience in this area from the work that I've been doing with our open infra projects. I've been participating in putting together trainings and helping new contributors to be plugged into communities. I'm also a community manager for one of our projects. It's called Starting X. So I would like to help the Magma community with the challenges that you are facing as you're building a new community. So with a few people, we just quickly picked a meeting slot that is happening. The first one is happening tomorrow on Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific. It is 1500 UTC. I also threw in the Etherpad that we created for the meeting to kick off the discussions into the Zoom chat. So you can find it there. If you have any thoughts or comments, please feel free to drop it into the Etherpad. We also have a mail thread going on the TSC Magma mailing list. You can chime in there too. And I hope that all of you who have interest in participating in making the onboarding and contributor experience better and improve in that area, that you can come and join us on this kickoff call tomorrow. And all the logistics are still kind of open. We just really wanted to make sure that we have a dedicated space where we can discuss this topic because it is relevant for all activities within the community. So it could fit in here and there. But I think it is also a really crucial area to have a dedicated space where we can really just focus on these topics and have a plan to move forward and then create tasks that then anyone can pick up. So this is how I could summarize what we have for now. And I wonder if anyone has any questions or comments.
It's nice initiative.
Thanks. I'm really excited to work with the community. I've been following some of the activities within Magma, but I haven't been participating so far. So I'm really excited to get to know the community better and help you to bring more and more people on board. I would also like to mention, just as a clarifying comment, that this group and this area of activities, it's more focused towards individuals. When it comes to onboarding companies and organizations, we do have the outreach committee who is probably a bit more suited to tackle that one. We might also look into some aspects of that, especially when it boils down to members of an organization wanting to contribute and they don't know how to get started. So this group that we are forming now is mainly focusing on individual experience. And we will be, of course, working with the different groups within the community to make sure that we are all on the same page and collaborating on relevant items.
Yeah, really nice. I think we should also post this on general channel so people know, okay, this event is coming up, they can come and collaborate. And if Twitter is possible, then yeah, we can post it there also.
Oh, yeah, and that is a good comment. I will add the note to the general channel as well. We do have, I think the Etherpad already has, no, it doesn't have the Slack info. So the Etherpad has the Zoom info, the calendar entry, the meeting is already in the Magma calendar, so it will show up hopefully on the calendar channel as well. And we do have a Slack channel that is called Contributing. I will throw that on the Etherpad as well. I forgot about that one. You can find all the information on the Etherpad for now. Once we have kind of a good idea of scope and goals and activities, I think we will probably go ahead and create a wiki page that is easier to discover. I just thought that an Etherpad is better for the brainstorming phase while we are still organizing ourselves.
Nice. Just join the channel.
Everyone is very welcome.
Yeah, this is
Thanks,
a
Ildiko.
great initiative. Are there any plans to have meetings as part of Open Infra Summits for the developers, or are these under the purview of the efforts that you are pursuing?
So I added, when I put together the Etherpad, I added an events bullet point. I think events are key when it comes to onboarding new people into the community. And it is also a big part of the contributor experience in general. So events, in my mind, is one of the topics that we should explore when we are talking about improvements in this area and see how we can utilize those the best we can. Does this answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, because that's the most info I have for now. And then I'm hoping that people who join these discussions, they have some information in terms of what you already have planned for some upcoming events that are on the horizon that we can use as a starting point. And also, I would just encourage everyone to just kind of think about what we could do to make sure that we are reaching out to people, and we also make the community accessible for them once they are excited to come and participate, and how to utilize the different channels and forums like events, our website, and these kind of things for all this.
Nice.
Great. Thank you, Ildiko. So it actually brings us to the end of our agenda. We still do have time. So is there anything else that people would like to discuss before we close the meeting? I will take this silence as a no. We'll go ahead and end a little bit early, and we'll meet back here in 2 weeks. Everyone have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Thanks, Kendall.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.